I guess the
Why does
next.
it look like this?
What does it look like? What?
It looks like through transparent glass.
Hmm. Shouldn't it? What am I looking for right now? Quick access and student book 1, right? Okay.
Right, right.
So this chapter that we finished was about. Mhm. Page down, page down. This chapter was about marketing objectives and strategy. Okay.
Uh-huh.
The next one is product, service, design, promotion, branding, etc. One by one. So those four P's: product, promotion, price, and placing. We'll do this in that's order it's given in book. So we'll follow that.
Sure,
Okay,
sure.
product. One second. Let me open the chapter so that I know which discussions I have to do. 7, 8, 9 done. Hmm. Product design. Hmm. Okay, so the first thing is about what features should be there. I mean, if you're about to design a product, what what things you must take care of while designing the product. MADDY.
You must take care of your competitors. Wink, wink.
Hmm. Competitors. Okay, give me a second. Amar business. Um.
It's my business, not your business.
Obviously it is.
Yes, my business. Did you write it?
Did I write what?
The topic,
S-
man?
about to. For the last chapter, no, I'll do that after the class. Right now, I'm doing for
Okay.
this one.
Where are you starting? Below it or beside it?
Below it,
Okay,
left bottom. Okay,
okay,
so
okay.
product, service, design, and we are thinking about what considerations we must have in mind while designing the product. Design. So, sir, one thing that you mentioned was.
Can you move
Can it?
it? Can you move this like a little below and more rightwards so that it doesn't look like it's the same box? Yes, thank you.
Okay. So for product service design, what are the things that
Uh,
we must be cognizant of? So first thing is shape and appearance. Shape and appearance. Shape and appearance. Hmm, this. What else?
uh, hold on.
Intended function. Um, ease of production. How easily or how difficult is it to produce this thing, to manufacture this thing? So ease slash cost of production. What else?
Share errands intended function E slash cost of reduction. That's
Hmm,
it.
uh, Appearance after, I mean, what would it look like after it has been created? And should it communicate a message about the business? So there is a thing called, let me write these 2 points, and then the next thing we have is design mix. Yes, that is. um,
Design what?
Design ethic, sorry, design mix. I'll get to that in 1 second. Okay, the image it gives when it was, what it looks like after completion.
I mean, shape and appearance means the same thing.
Has it been covered? All right, shape and appearance covered. And what else? What else? Uh, does it communicate a message about the business? Does it communicate a message about the business? So packaging as well as the design. Sometimes, for example, a business. mm, Whenever you're producing products, all of your products, they have some commonality with regards to how they're designed. And for example, the reason we put logo on everything, it is to
Uh-huh.
make each product identifiable with the business. That's one way we do it. The other
Right.
way is maintaining quality. So for example, if you are producing luxury or high end products, that is how your new product would be. Every new product, it's rare that a business is both in markets of luxury and, let's say, inferior quality products at the same time. Not exactly inferior quality, but let's say low quality products. Usually
Uh-huh.
businesses, they stick to, I mean, that is with regards to output, the finishing of the output. Similarly, the material used, let's say the origin of raw material, the way, the countries in which production, usually there is something systematic about the way a business produces its products. So next thing that we have is design mix. Design mix comprises of uh, decisions around design on three fronts. One is function, one is cost, and third is aesthetics. So this, this, and this. Okay, so the first one is function. The second one is cost. And the third one is aesthetics. What considerations would a business give with respect to all three of these?
What?
So, while designing the product, how would the business think about these three things?
Um, function.
Hmm. There is a thing called quality product. By the way, we use this term often. What is a quality product?
It's good quality product. So it's not a research product. So it's the best at what it's meant to do.
That's the thing. A quality product is the product which does, which delivers on the promise. So, for example, a product, let's say if you describe your product or the feature that your product must have is like good speakers, then if your
Uh-huh.
product has good speakers, then let's think about mobile phones. If in your definition you are delivering on the promise of, or the consumers they expect good speakers from your mobile phone, and your product has that, then it's a quality product. If your product, the same product, it lacks some other feature which is not priority of the customer, they'd still consider it a quality product, because what's the
Um,
main function that they want out of this product? If it's delivering on that, then it's quality product. Okay, anything else?
uh, no.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Okay, 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 okay. Okay, what about cost? And obviously, we are always looking for cost reduction. Whatever we are trying to produce, we are trying to produce in the in the least possible cost, right?
Yeah.
So cost is easy. Cost is easy, but again, cost it must not. Uh, I mean, some businesses usually there is this managing, or for example affecting one of these. For example, if I'm going to introduce functionality in the product, it would automatically affect cost and aesthetics. If I'm going to manage cost of the product, it is going to affect functionality and aesthetics, and the same for aesthetics as well.
I don't understand what that means.
So for example, if I want to add functionality to the product, how would it affect cost? It
It would cost more for creating a better quality product.
To add functionality, to add more features or more functions to the product, costs would automatically increase. Similarly, the aesthetics, it's not that you just keep on adding features to the product and nothing would happen to its design. Its design would be influenced by the features that you introduce in the product, right?
Right.
Okay, so the same for cost. If you're trying to control cost of the product, either you will have to reduce functionality, or you
Yeah.
would have to affect the aesthetics of the product.
Okay.
So the presentation, the finishing, that might get affected. The quality of the material that you use, that might get affected. The sort of specialized labor that you use, you may make a decision around that. So a, a decision to disturb one of these three, or a decision to alter one of these three features, would automatically affect the other two.
Right.
Okay, the last thing in this chapter. Is it the last thing? Is it the last thing? Maybe. Okay, so design mix and social trends. Design mix and social trends.
What is the name of the chapter?
Name of the chapter is Product Service Design.
Okay.
Hmm. So, for example, you design, the main focus or the main thing that you're trying to achieve through your design. It could be waste minimization.
Uh-huh.
So this is called design for waste minimization. Let me write that down. Waste minimization. You could design your product for reuse.
Uh-huh.
You could design your product for recycling.
Uh-huh.
And the ethical considerations, they might affect your design of the product.
Uh, uh,
Okay. The thing is, what features or what would how would the product be different if it's designed for waste minimization compared to if it were designed for reuse, or if it were designed for recycling, and compared to ethical sourcing?
right.
So all these things, they are uh, important social trends around you. For example, there is this every now and then debate about, or let's say a perpetual debate about, that the resources that are there on this planet, they are in a limited quantity, they are scarce. So whatever we produce as a product, it must be, uh, for example, the product, it would, if I were to reduce waste minimization, I would design a long lasting product.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Similarly, the product, it would use both in its production and in its operation less energy.
Uh-huh.
Similarly, the product, so let me write these things down as well. So for example, for waste minimization, it would have um, less energy both in operation and production. I should have written production and operation, but anyhow. Okay. Less energy. Then the other thing I mentioned, product would be lighter and smaller. Hmm. What else? Single use and disposable products would be discouraged. So single use
Okay,
slash,
waste minimization. What does it actually mean?
that while designing the product, you have in mind that you have to reduce waste on this planet.
Okay.
So it won't be single use or disposable in nature, or at least this thing would be discouraged. Mm,
Sir, 1 second, I'll be
hmm,
back.
hmm.
be dead by the end of this. We'll die.
Hmm.
Kill me now.
We all will be dead by the time it ends.
God damn it. I don't have food. Doctor said not to give me food. Like what my mom is telling me to eat. Mom's like, no, you're fine. It's fine. Eat it. What can I do?
Eat what? Eat not what?
Doctor said eat soft diet
Hmm.
or liquid diet.
Hmm.
Mom's like, no problem.
Hmm.
Just eat. I'm like, no.
Just eat dry fruit.
No, she's like, just eat whatever.
Hmm. Good mom.
What to do?
Okay, so if you are designing for recycling, you would be using recyclable material.
Right.
Recycled slash recyclable material.
Waste minimization. What does it mean?
Sorry.
What does waste minimization mean? I was in the hearing.
Waste minimization is that while designing the product, you want to design it in such a way so that waste is reduced on the planet as
Okay,
a
so
result of use
not
of.
for profit or anything, right?
Profit would be a consideration, but profit is not the only consideration.
Right. So, but the thing is, while trying to do waste minimization, you have to
Businesses, they
the
generally
cost
do not
increase.
sacrifice, they do not sacrifice on profits. So, but even for profit, a product could be designed, I mean, at least have this consideration in your mind that the thing that we are doing, it should minimize waste.
Uh-huh.
These are roughly speaking the same thing. Waste minimization, reuse, recycling, they all complement each other. No. Mhm.
As you would have guessed, I was gone.
Were you?
I was.
Okay. In ethical consideration, the main thing is that, for example, this question of, hmm, uh, the product that you are design. For example, this question around should you manufacture weapons or not? Okay, so end use,
Right.
ethical or not, and secondly, the means. For example, at times it could reduce the cost for the business, but are those means ethical or not? The big question is child labor. The other big question is around use of some component or some material from endangered species.
Why
Or
is child labor not allowed?
why is child labor not allowed? It's unethical. I mean, children, they should have the opportunity to
Why can't
learn.
they just be slaves?
Why can't they just be slaves?
Okay, okay, stop.
Okay. Ethical considerations. First, we have the end use and then means of production. For example, I said child labor.
Are there actually people that like? I mean, child labor.
Hmm.
Sometimes it's necessary, right? Not like for the
Child
company, but
that
for the child itself. For example, he is an orphan or something.
hmm. There are a few questions around it. For example, how do you define child labor? Is children helping around in home? Does that count as child labor? Hopefully
Hmm.
not. Never. Okay. Then somebody says that
Hmm.
children assisting their parents in their livelihood. I mean, if this, then why not that? Uh, this gets a bit tricky. So you have to, for example, children, they should have, uh, they should not be working in circumstances which affect their growth. Number one. So their physical growth, they shouldn't be put in physical danger. For example, things which are all right for as exposure for senior people, children shouldn't be exposed to that. The other thing is that for growth, for example, they need skills so that they are in future more productive.
Right, right,
All
right.
right. Again, it's a bit tricky with regards to debate around it. I mean, at the end of the day, all you're saying is that a child it should be capable of producing more goods. That's all that we are measuring you against. And even if you're giving you rest now, it is for producing more goods in the future. So
Hmm.
that's a bit, I mean, difficult thing to explore around. Anyhow, children, they shouldn't be they should have opportunities to grow both mentally and physically, and they shouldn't be put in distress.
Oh, oh, yes.
And the other thing is endangered species. Endangered species in general, and I mean, uh, use of animal. For example, that thing, the ivory, jewelry made from ivory,
The horn of the rhino.
the horn of rhino or the tooth of elephant,
Ah,
those
yeah.
things that they have. So, should those be used? Musk deer.
No, no, no.
All right. Similarly, this umber, I think it also comes from whale, but I don't know if you have to kill a whale to get that or not.
Amber?
Hmm.
AMBER?
Umber, Ain Noon Bara.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
It's a perfume like oud.
Ah,
Umber, Ain
oh,
Noon.
oh.
This. I don't know if it's whale's waste or some other. For example, musk deer. You have to kill a musk deer to get musk, right?
Uh-huh. You do?
Similarly,
Silkworm?
for example, crocodile skin bags,
Silkworm.
silkworm, silkworm. Do you have to kill a silkworm to get silk?
You're basically abusing it though. Like,
I mean, then.
give me 1 second,
Hmm,
I'll be
hmm,
back.
hmm,
1 second.
hmm.
Yes. What?
So all debates around ethics, they shouldn't be tricky, but most of the times they are. For example, this abuse of animals is dairy farming abuse of cows.
Yep.
Similarly, meat farming and so on. So you could debate
It is
both ways.
abuse, but I support that abuse. That's the
Hmm.
problem.
Okay, okay. The so these are the social trends that are there, and the question is why. should you take care, or why should you consider these social trends? Would it provide any added benefit to the business if it thinks about these social trends while designing the products? So let me write uh, benefits to business. In the meanwhile, you can think about it. Benefits to business. Of adapting to social trends. Okay, so one thing is straight. So if you know something to be right, regardless of whether people afford it, I mean support it or not, you should be doing that thing. Okay, so mainly with regards to ethical considerations, no matter if anyone supports it or not, whatever you think to be the ethical thing, you should always be doing that. So one thing is that you act ethically no matter what.
What is this chapter actually about? It's confusing.
Hmm. It's about product design.
Yeah, so what does all this have to do with product design?
They have given trash information under this chapter. They could have made it better.
Yeah, but what did they make it as then? What is this?
So first they want you to know that product design, it's a component of three things: cost, function, and aesthetics. That's one thing.
Okay.
The other thing to take away from this chapter is that design, it's influenced by social trends.
Okay, what is aesthetics?
Aesthetics is the uh, for example, the experience that you get while using the product. So for example, touch, taste, smell, finish of the product, those things.
That's aesthetics, but
Hmm.
what's actually aesthetics?
I mean, other
Of a
than business,
service.
aesthetics of a service is how is the service delivered, by who is the service delivered, how trained is the person delivering the service, um uh, what does that person who is delivering the service has in mind, what do they keep in mind while delivering the service, those sort of things.
Don't get it.
mm, the products they should the products should somehow project people's preferences in addition to performing the function that they do.
Okay.
So, for example, yes, you need food, but what features do you like to have, or what way do you like to have your food presented to you?
Right.
Should
Right.
should you have a takeaway option for your food or not?
Uh-huh.
I mean, for usually luxury restaurants, you rarely have the drive-through. Drive-through is usually for economical
Fast
meals.
food. Okay.
Hmm. Okay, so you won't like to have luxury food made available to you through drive-through, right?
No.
That's the question around aesthetics.
Uh-huh.
Similarly, for a restaurant which is, let's say, delivering economical food, they won't focus too much on putting high-end furnitures. Maybe they would have something sturdy and strong, and just the basic design and structure, that sort of thing, neat, clean.
Hmm.
So these are all questions of aesthetics.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay.
Okay, so
Okay.
what sort of cutlery do you have your food served in? That would be a question of aesthetics.
Hmm.
All right. So the things again, design mix, then design mix and social trends, and what benefit would a business get for adapting to these social trends while designing its product.
Right.
So for the social trends, one thing that we said the last was the ethical consideration, and and now we are saying that benefits to the businesses that they have to act ethically no matter what, whether people support it or not, any particular thing that the business finds to be ethically correct. For example, there was this question in Cambridge A level business some time back that the bribery is legally allowed in a country. So a business is operating in that country. They have just started operations, and they have received a request or for facilitating payments. Should they make those facilitating payments or not?
Um, should they?
The question is that even if it's legally allowed over there, the business shouldn't, because the business is not only operating in that country, and even if it were operating in that country, uh, acting ethically always helps, because unethical thing, both it has got the financial repercussions and otherwise as well, to maintain order of the world, to maintain things running like smoothly or in an orderly manner, uh, one has to adapt to an ethical code. Otherwise, there would be just chaos
Then why would it be legal?
in that particular country. So it might be that the legal framework is not that much established or that much mature. And the thing is that later they might introduce a law with retrospective effect that this thing is now illegal, and then the business it would get into legal and financial battles over that thing, over that particular aspect. So
Mhm.
something which is, for example, ethically wrong but legally allowed in a country, it always has the chance that someday somebody realizes that this thing is wrong, and then they introduce a law with retrospective effect, with backdate effect, that this thing is wrong, and whoever had been involved in this thing, let's bring them to court.
Mhm.
So that is one thing. The other thing is that users of the products, they are now more socially aware, and they, even if the business does not, users they think about these social trends, and they would like to engage in business with organizations who think like them on these ethical questions. So for example, there have been since for example, whenever there were these Nauzubillah Draw Muhammad cartoon events which were by some random Danish person,
Mhm.
but Muslim world as a whole reacted to that, and they asked their countries to cut off all ties with Denmark, even though it wasn't maybe the Danish government's decision to do that,
Mhm.
or they didn't like to do business with Danish organizations at that particular time,
Right.
until the Danish government brought that particular person to justice. Similarly, this issue around Israel, every other
Yeah.
day, whenever they commit an atrocity, and whenever it, for example, crosses a certain limit, there are countries and there are people who boycott their products.
Right.
So users are most socially aware, more socially aware. So even from the financial perspective, it's more rewarding to act ethically.
Uh-huh.
Mm, then you could build a USP around it,
Uh-huh.
that other businesses, yes, they just produce the product. We not only produce the product, we are also ethically and socially aware. So I don't know when you last visited or if you ever visited a shop by L'Oreal, but people at L'Oreal's shop, they love to tell you that no animals were harmed while making those products.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Just as the USP, other makeup companies, whatever products they might be using
They,
it, they
they
might.
also say
Hmm.
they all, but they don't tell you about the
Child labor that they.
Bangladeshi
Hmm,
workers.
hmm,
Yeah.
hmm, hmm. So that's it for this particular chapter. Moving on to the next one, let me put a box. White, translucent. I'll do the next one on the right side of this.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so this was product service design. Next is promotion and branding. So first question is, what is promotion?
Promotion. Promotion is advertising, no?
Not only advertising, what else?
Also offers, discounts, blah blah. It's just something that creates a talking point about a certain product.
Mhm. So promotion is when you are communicating a message to make a favorable opinion about your product or your business. So again, promotion is all communication that you engage in with consumers. So first of all, it is communication.
Mhm.
Second thing is that it is to engage consumers. Mm, consumers slash prospective consumers, people who are not yet using your product but they might in future. Prospective consumers.
Right.
And the next thing is that the aim of this advertisement or this promotional activity is to have a favorable image of the product or the business itself, right?
Right.
So while doing promotion of your business or promotion of your product, yes, you tell consumers about, maybe you're telling consumers about a new product, you are reminding consumers about an existing product, you want to reach a specific target audience over some area, you want to reassure consumers about your product, you want to show consumers that your product is better than your rival's product,
Hmm.
or for example you want to improve standing of your product, not comparing it to the rival but as it is this product, you want to improve its image in the line, in the minds of the people. So I don't know about overseas. Okay, McDonald's they get embroiled over this controversy of use of mad cow beef.
What is that?
So all these food companies, one time or other, they run into this issue where somebody raises a conspiracy theory, or actually finds out that the material that they're using in making the product is not safe or not hygienic.
Okay, but was it true?
Sometimes it is, sometimes it's not. For
Now,
example,
was the McDonald's thing true?
I don't know, it has yet been proven. I'm not aware if it has ever been proven.
Okay, okay.
But the controversy, it gets surfaced every now and then. The Maggi or Knorr, one of the noodles company in India, they had to recall all
Pig,
their products. They were using pig. I think they were using
something like that.
some plastic material in their noodles.
That was some other one.
Hmm. Hmm.
I don't
So
remember.
this thing, this is about, for example, in Pakistan, Lay's, they once somebody said that they use pig fat in their product, so they had to use. I don't know if you know about Junaid Jamshed or not. He was a singer turned evangelist, was with Tablighi Jamaat. So they had to
Ah,
have
yes.
him come in one of their ads, and he was eating Lays and telling people that I consume this product and I've researched about it and it's all halal food. Okay, so
Right.
that thing, or for example, you have to keep reminding people about using your product. If you're
Right.
launching a new product, then obviously you have to first of all introduce product to the people, but even if it were an old product, you'd have to still keep reminding people about the product. Okay. uh, with promotion there are two main subcategories. The first one is above the line promotion, and this is where advertisement comes in. So let me write, mm, above the line promotion. The other obviously is, the other one is below the line promotion. So above the line promotion is all paid for means of promotion. Above the line promotion, line, sometimes it's called like, to describe it, people say that it's just advertising, uh, but by definition it's some means of promotion where you have to pay the, for example, one promoting your product a certain amount. Above
Uh-huh.
the line promotion, so basically it's ads, or a large chunk of it is ads. Above the line promotion, okay. Then within above the line promotion we have got ads are of how many types?
There.
Let's say three types. The first one is informative. Informative. The second, in informative, you're just telling about features of your product, or communicating some information about the business to the customer base.
All right.
The second one is persuasive. So in persuasive, you are persuading them to take a certain action, usually to buy the product.
Mhm.
Okay. And the third type of ads, they are reassuring.
Uh-huh.
So you are addressing some of their fear, or dispelling a rumor spread about your product.
Uh-huh.
All right. So these are the three types of ads that you run. Then there are media that you can use to run above the line promotion. So let me call this types. Then the other thing is media used. So what are the different media that you can use to run your ads, and what's the advantage and disadvantage of each channel that you use? First, let's list down the channels that we can use to run an ad.
Uh, Channels as in TV channels or channels as in routes?
Routes. So one is TV ads.
Uh-huh. The other is billboards.
Let's see, billboards. Okay.
Other is social media,
Social media, correct.
newspapers, mass communication. I don't know.
Mm, Newspaper is correct. Social media.
Um, then
Newspaper,
what else?
magazines, they are categorized as one.
Yeah, okay. Newspaper, magazines, and then what else? What else? Friend, influencer.
Influencer marketing, we'll see that either that comes in social media, or that comes under the heading
TV.
of uh, TV or sponsorships, we'll see.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
sponsorships.
So you mentioned, but sponsorship is not covered in above the line promotion. Sponsorship is covered in below the line promotion, and we'll see why in a bit. um
Okay.
so we have got newspaper, you said.
Yep.
newspaper
Yep.
Newspaper and magazines, they are treated as one.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Anything else?
That
And
will
for
be it.
social media, we use a broader term. Instead of social media, we say internet. So all web-based marketing, all the ads that you're running, whether through social media or otherwise.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
For example, Google
Where
Ads
is
won't perform.
newspaper?
Newspaper
Where
is the
is it?
fourth one.
Okay.
And then there is poster, billboards, you have mentioned, cinema, and radio.
Cinema and radio.
So
Hmm.
whenever there is a movie running, before the movie or during the interval, you are shown an ad. And
Hmm.
radio, if you, I don't know if you follow any radio shows or not, there are still ads running on radio. By the way, there has been resurgence of radio in
Podcasts, I can say yes, but I don't know about radio in
hmm,
general.
radio was almost a product in decline stage, but recently there has been a resurge of interest around.
For what? There's literally nothing that provides.
I don't know about what radio you have over there in UAE. Even I don't listen to radio nowadays, but back when I used to listen to it or while driving, there are people with a lot of drive time. Podcast is a new thing, and yes, it's growing exponentially. But uh, till like 5 years back, radio was the thing that was mostly there to entertain people driving.
Uh-huh.
Okay, now
Uh-huh.
we have to discuss about the advantages and disadvantages of all these media. I won't be able to write all these advantages and disadvantages, so let me put it all close together. Okay, advantages and disadvantages, please,
Of what?
of all these media one by one. So first
Okay, so
of TV.
so for TV, the advantage is it reaches uh, the masses more efficiently.
Hmm.
Uh,
Efficiently is we'll see, but you
depend
can reach a
depends
large.
on your market research.
Hmm.
Okay, and the other advantage is it's easier to if your this thing customers are not like cluttered in one place, I'd say.
Hmm.
Like it's easier for you to advertise to
Hmm.
more people,
Hmm.
reach bigger audience.
Hmm.
And disadvantage would be uh maybe if you have too many TV ads, people will get annoyed of your product.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
Aesthetics of your product won't
Okay.
feel right.
A few things about the disadvantages, that TV ads are expensive compared to other options and sometimes very expensive. The
Uh-huh.
payments for TV ads, especially in prime time, they run into hundreds of thousands of rupees for, or maybe thousands of dirhams for just a few seconds.
Right,
Maybe hundreds of thousands of dirhams for a few seconds.
right.
Okay, the message may be short-lived. The message
Mhm.
communicated through TV ads. You viewers, we know they, for all this advertisement, they usually dislike, and seeing the ad again and again might annoy them more than achieve the message of advertisement.
Yeah.
Okay, and then obviously there is difference between there is time between they actually see the ad and they actually do the shopping. So
Uh-huh.
this thing is questionable, that how much are they influenced by a TV ad to actually carry out the shopping decision.
I saw so many Pepsi ads for something I don't remember.
Hmm.
Not Pepsi, Coca-Cola, like at least like 10
Hmm.
every other hour.
Hmm.
So I just stopped drinking Coca-Cola forever.
Nice, nice, nice. So the thing is that when you are in the shop, see the difference. The point I'm trying to make over here is that when you're watching the TV ad, you're not usually making the shopping decision. So is it actually more effective to show you the ad while you're making the shopping decision, for example, in form of a billboard, or while you're not making the shopping decision, for example, when you're just watching a TV show or something?
Mm,
Okay,
mm,
the advantages, obviously you mentioned that a huge audience can be reached. Then the other thing is that the use of the product can be demonstrated.
right.
Okay, and obviously sound and color, they are more engaging as compared
Mm,
to, for example, a static newspaper ad or a black and white ad.
mhm.
And targeting is a bit difficult with TV, but with new things, these new streaming options available now on TV, maybe you can do some bit of targeting as well with
There are
digital.
personalized ads on YouTube, you know that, right?
For YouTube there is, but if you're using
Yeah,
Netflix or Amazon, they don't show any ad, right?
they do.
Does
No, no,
Netflix?
now they don't. Yeah, they don't. You're right.
Hmm. So for Netflix, the ads might be of other movies or other content. So, for example, you open the Netflix and right on top of it, it's suggesting you something or trending in your country and those sort of things. But
Mm.
otherwise, ads for other products, I don't think it's there on Netflix at least. And even for YouTube, you can get rid of those ads if you go for some of their premium service. I don't know the name of it, but
It's
I
called
know.
YouTube Premium.
Oh, nice. Okay, so the next one that we have is billboards. What would be the advantages and disadvantages of billboards?
Uh, maybe. I mean, advantage is it will. I don't know.
So, first of all, there is no sound or movement in the ad.
That's yeah,
if
disadvantage.
if that reduces the effectiveness, then the ad could be vandalized. Somebody throws ink or just uh,
Hmm.
what's that called, graffiti or something.
Hmm.
Then there is a limited information that can be shown. So the more information you put on your billboard, people, they are usually driving by this billboard, so
They
they'll
want
have
to
a
be
very
there.
few milliseconds of attention span. Or even if the ad is there on a signal, traffic signal, around a traffic signal, then you might be. But the more information you put there, the more difficult it becomes for you to catch attention of your targeted audience.
Uh-huh.
Okay, then it's difficult to evaluate effectiveness. How many people saw the ad and how many actually made the buying decision? You can just estimate that.
Uh-huh.
All right. Then the good thing is that people who are traveling through that route, they get to see that repeatedly.
Uh-huh.
We've seen that, we have discussed it before. For example, compared to television, billboards around shopping centers where people are actually about to make shopping decision, they might be more effective.
Right.
Similarly, short crisp messages, they can be better delivered through billboards.
Uh-huh.
All right. Next one, internet. Hmm.
Internet could be hacked.
Internet ad could be hacked. So,
uh,
so people, they usually do not like to, I mean, having those pop-up ads every now and then disturbing them.
yeah.
So it's irritating. And
Uh-huh.
due to, I don't know, technical problems, your ad might not be delivered. Anyhow,
Um,
the internet is like used a lot nowadays, and the reason is that at very low cost, you can dispense your message to a far larger number of audience as compared to same cost for TV. And
TV.
sometimes it's even not feasible to run your ad on TV, or the number of people that you can reach through internet from same amount. If you were to run a TV ad, it would be many times more expensive.
Right.
Or
Right.
a billboard, it would be many times more. So cost is the most basic thing. The internet, it allows you a lot of targeting options.
Uh-huh.
So you
Uh,
know that your money is not wasted on everyone who might or might not buy your product. It's just
Uh-huh.
targeted to the people who are actually a consumer group around your or some similar product, or
Mm-hmm.
some traits that you mention. um, could be delivered through mobile devices as well. I mean, not only limited to just one type of device or office setting, or people using it at home, people using it at office. Otherwise, the ad can be delivered in any situation. And then the goods which are sold online as well, it has that advantage the same way the billboards near a shopping center.
Hmm.
So when people easy from, I mean, the lag between seeing the ad and getting there to make the buying decision, that is reduced.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Newspaper, advantages, disadvantages.
Newspaper. Most people don't look at the ads.
Hmm.
Uh, they just skip it. At least if it's pop up, you'll see it for a second. But newspaper, you'll just
Hmm.
brush it away. And
If it's just a page of ads, then it might first of all get all lost in the middle of everything. So somebody sees a page full of ads, next page, or
yeah,
just the big prominent ads, they might uh, glance over them, and all the rest it gets ignored. The
uh,
other thing is that even for the page where your ad is isolated, just your ad and the other inform, I mean, for example, there's just page of news and just one ad at the bottom. So
uh,
just knowing that there is an ad, the attention would be minimal for this.
and also newspaper industry is in a decline.
Yes, there is the question around how many people actually read newspaper or magazines. That number is shrinking. So it's shifting to digital. So maybe for digital, you'll have some websites, they're offering you the exact same scanned newspapers,
Right, right.
and some they offer you the news through, I mean, in website format, not exactly in newspaper format. But and if it's in website format, then the ad it would be in internet domain. If it's just scanned newspaper page, then it would be the same as that of newspaper or
Uh,
magazine. But sound and movement is also missing over here.
uh,
Okay,
uh.
the advantages.
Advantages of newspaper, it reaches older people.
uh, a particular let's say, so business people, for magazines you have people who are traveling, for example, airlines magazine,
Yeah, right, right.
you would have a certain people who would be having that experience, so you can have a particular type of ads in that. Similarly, so gives you some option of targeting, a very limited one, but some option you have, that
Uh,
which particular target audiences you're reaching through that. Usually these there is sometimes legal requirement. So for example, if you are making some legal decisions of your
sir, give me
business.
1 second. Give me 1 second.
Hmm.
Okay, sir. You can continue.
Hmm.
Yes.
We were talking about one of these. Which one? Newspaper, I think.
Uh huh.
Newspaper. Then we've got cinema and radio. Hmm. Advantages, disadvantages.
Advantage of cinema. In cinema, you can promote it to your target audience. So, movies, people that watch movies, you can promote it to them itself.
Hmm.
Something like that.
Hmm.
Also, the disadvantage is
Audience is limited.
that audience is
Okay,
limited.
the thing about the newspapers and magazines, I think it's only with that. Uh, you can keep a record of the ad.
Uh-huh.
For TV ad, it just plays and it goes away. Now you've got the option to record the video, maybe uh, your mobile phone or something. But otherwise, for news, I mean, you don't know when the ad would play. So this option of recording or keeping a record of the ad with you is more, or perhaps only available with newspaper and magazines. Okay, that is maybe the reason that all the legal notices that you are to serve to the masses, they have to be communicated through the newspapers and magazines, through newspaper, through national newspaper. So,
Uh-huh.
for example, in Pakistan, there is this law: if you want to change your name, you need to give an ad in the newspaper. The reason is that you might have been in legal dealings with people before, and now that you're going to change your name, everybody must know, it must be national news that you're going to change your name, so you need to put an ad in the there is other thing as well. So for example, are you aware of this concept, even though it's un-Islamic, but where people who disinherit their children, what is that
Uh-huh.
called? Aak karna. So
Uh,
you have to put an ad for that in the newspaper. The business for the annual general meeting and other meetings, and for example the notices that they have to publish, sometimes it's a legal requirement to do that through newspaper. So those ads are there in newspaper if there's a legal requirement around it.
uh-huh.
Okay, so for cinema we said that there is limited audience, would be seen just once, message would be short lived. uh, then maybe big screen, big impact, sound and movement, some bit of targeting the audience which is coming to the cinema. For radio,
Uh-huh.
advantage, disadvantage. Sound is there, movement is not. The ads are not visual, disadvantage. May lack impact, can be annoying or disrupting, especially people who like to listen to music and in between just an ad starts playing, for them it's really annoying. uh, a specific audience that listens to radio, maybe you can run ads for that. For example, ads around car and car maintenance products, maybe running through radio is a good option, because usually people who are driving, they're listening to the radio.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so this was all for above the line promotion. For below the line promotion, we have got a few options. We have got a few options. Hmm, let's see. Let's see. Above the line promotion. Then besides it, let me copy paste this thing. Can I copy paste this thing? Above the line promotion, all selected. Copy. I put it over here, and then I do just change above, right? Above to oh. Hmm. So what do you think would be covered in below the line promotion?
Um, sponsors, blah blah. You said.
Hmm. Sponsor, blah blah, and we have got sponsorship.
Uh-huh.
We have got something called what's that called? Sales promotion. Sales promotion is the biggest out of all these. Below the line promotion to sales promotion. So how do you do sales promotion? For sales promotion, you have got um, free gifts.
Uh-huh.
Let's discuss these also as we go through them. So sponsorship is when you sponsor expense of someone else, and as a result they display your logo. So for example, these sponsorship for sports players.
Right.
Nike is paying them some money to cover their expenses, or Pepsi is paying them some money to cover their expenses, and in return they display logo of that. So
Right.
roughly, one could equate it to advertising, but usually it's classified as something different.
Uh-huh.
So for sales promotion, we have got a few techniques. You give free gifts, maybe entices people to do more shopping. You give coupons, maybe would encourage people to do more shopping from you.
I mean, what is above the line? What
Above
is
the
the
line,
line?
no line. You actually have to. These are called paid for means of advertising, and here you do not pay someone to run your ad.
Uh-huh.
So for sales promotion, you're not paying them to run your ad. You're just covering their expenses, and in return, they are uh, displaying your logo.
Uh-huh.
Coupons, we have got loyalty cards. So with these things, these loyalty cards and coupons, you're not paying anyone to do, I mean, to show your ad or to communicate your message. You're just, for example, making shopping easier for them, or how do you put it? You know how all these things work. So if someone gives you a free gift, maybe you go over there and buy again from them.
Right.
If they give you coupons of discount, uh, automatically would turn on a switch in your mind that this is something that I have to avail.
Right.
I mean, you didn't pay anything, nothing, but you would automatically feel like wasting something if you do not use these coupons.
Yeah.
Okay. uh, this then loyalty cards, other than that you have competitions. So you enter a store and some company, they are running a competition, and after that maybe they're giving some of their products as gifts for winning the competition. Maybe would make people, or if you could be running a competition, for example, some of the boxes of the products, they show some puzzle and they ask you
Um,
to solve that puzzle and submit it. So that might result in communicate, I mean, that results in your message getting communicated to the people. Competition, buy one get one free.
okay, sir, can we continue this next class?
Just let me write this, finish this for sales promotion, and then we can. There's just
Okay.
one left. Buy one get one free and discounts. Money of deals.
Okay.
Money of deals. Okay, let me just